Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, Derek Chauvin's future is now in the hands of a jury. What's happening in Minneapolis right now?
Moorhead High School students begin their week by walking. What message they wanted us to hear.
And reaction from a local school district after a domestic assault charge is filed against a teacher. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
The Derek Chauvin murder trial is in the hands of the jury, and moments ago the mayor of Minneapolis said regardless of the decision, people have the right to express themselves.
Hundreds are rallying in downtown Minneapolis right now. They're calling for a guilty verdict. The crowd first gathered outside the Hennepin County Courthouse and were expected to march around the downtown area. Police are calling for peaceful proceedings. About 3,000 National Guard soldiers have been activated. Many are also patrolling in Brooklyn Center. The jury got the case late this afternoon. Attorneys on both sides presented lengthy closing arguments today. After nearly 3 weeks of testimony, the state told the jury to remember the videos and words from George Floyd's final day. The defense argued that Floyd died from a combination of factors, including drugs, health issues, and exhaust from a police vehicle.
So there really aren't two sides to the story about whether this use of force was unreasonable. It was not authorized by the Minneapolis Police Department.
A thorough, honest analysis. The state has failed to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. And therefore, Mr. Chauvin should be found not guilty of all counts.
If convicted on the highest charge, second-degree unintentional murder, Chauvin faces up to 40 years in prison.
Moorhead High School students staged a walkout today to protest the death of Daunte Wright and support the Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate movements. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling shares their stories and what they're fighting for.
Over 100 Moorhead High School students made their way to Romkey Park, marching down the sidewalks. The protest was part of a statewide walkout across Minnesota following the death of Daunte Wright.
Moorhead tries hard, but they are failing students of color every day.
Many of the students there shared their experiences dealing with racism, whether it be microaggressions in class to being called racial slurs by other students and members of the community.
Because this is not right. I have a little sister, she's 7, and she's already experiencing racism. I don't know how to explain it to her. I don't know what to tell her. How do I tell a 7-year-old that this is going to happen to you for the rest of your life? And there's nothing you can do about it. All I can tell her is you have to be strong and you're going to be okay.
However, their message went beyond that, showing support to both the Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate movements.
And I think that's something that a lot of us experience, the fear that it could be our friends, our family next. It's not right, and our community should not be like this. In
Moorhead, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Students said they intended to stay out for the whole school day.
On to our weather now. We've had some trouble shaking loose the chilly temps. It sure would be nice to hear Hutch talk about warmer conditions. Let's find out what he has his eyes on for tonight. Hutch?
Well, we're keeping our eyes on some passing cumulus clouds that developed in the afternoon sun of the day. Those are yielding just a few spotty sprinkles on the radar. Take a look at the satellite, though. You can see where those clouds exist, mainly from the Red River Valley of Minnesota and North Dakota and points west. A little bit more blue sky in the eastern counties of our viewing area. Snow showers most likely to take place just to our west. Sheridan County, a few of those snow showers possibly reaching the ground, and maybe even in Ramsey County near the Devil's Lake Basin, where it's 34 degrees now, 36 Detroit Lakes, and near 40 from Grand Forks and Fargo, points south. Your planner tonight shows 30s all evening. The gusty winds that have hit near 40 miles per hour out of the north, keeping us feeling chilly, will slowly subside. Passing showers of snow continue into the morning for some of us. I'll have the latest on who might see that. We'll also talk about that warmer weather you were alluding to, Andrea, and tell you when it gets here in a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Hutch.
There's been another arrest in connection with the shooting in West Fargo. Police say a juvenile from Fargo is linked to the March 22nd shooting in the area of 9th Street and Parkway Drive. Authorities say with this arrest, it's the final person that they've been seeking. Also, that dark-colored vehicle we've been talking about has been located. Because the charges pending are in juvenile court, police are unable to release more information. A man who took an axe to U.S. Senator John Hoeven's office in downtown Fargo has pleaded guilty. Here's security footage of what happened on December 21st of 2020. Police say Thomas Starks used the axe to smash the window and cause substantial damage to the intercom system. 30-year-old Starks of Lisbon pleaded guilty to destruction of government property. The damage was estimated to be over $1,000.
A Barnesville physical education teacher and wrestling coach has been arrested for domestic assault. 26-year-old Stuart Brandt was arrested on Saturday after a fight with his roommate over how she cleans the refrigerator. Court documents say Brandt eventually shoved her, grabbed her arms, and when she tried to pull away, he grabbed her neck. When she left the room, documents state Brandt grabbed her arm with one hand and punched her left side with the other. Brandt has been employed by the school district for 2 years and works as the elementary phy ed teacher and head wrestling coach. Another man is in jail after a gunshot was reported in an apartment building. It happened yesterday at the Foxtail apartment building in Foston. No one was hurt.
Fargo police are investigating a statue of Christ being vandalized. The vandalism was found outside of St. Mary's Cathedral on North Broadway. Someone poured black paint over the face of the statue. The diocese says it had to have happened late Friday night or early Saturday morning. The marble statue came to Fargo in 2018 from the closing of the Archdiocese of Cincinnati. The facility's manager is looking into ways to restore this piece without harming the marble.
Cass County deputies will soon have a new body restraint tool. It's called the BOLA Remote Restraint Wrap System, and we're getting a better look at how it works today. It's an 8-foot tether that entangles someone using little force. The Sheriff's Office calls it a less lethal use of force option.
And we actually have been looking at getting it for a while, so I wanted to see a little bit more of the research. I wanted to observe some more of the situations that it's been used in.
The Sheriff's Office has purchased 3 BOLA wrap systems. They will be implementing them in the coming weeks.
Fargo police are partnering with OK Tire to help fight catalytic converter thefts. Since December, there have been 137 cases of stolen converters. OK Tire will use a flame-resistant paint on your converter to etch in a partial VIN number to make it less desirable to thieves. Officer Sergeant Erickson says that this new initiative will help deter criminals from stealing converters.
So a lot of times criminals will go for crime of opportunity. So if they're under the vehicle, they'll see that the heat-resistant paint is on there, as well as an etching of a partial VIN number. We're hoping that will also deter them from stealing it, as well as if we come across someone with catalytic converters and we see these markings, our investigations units and the officers can work to help identify where that catalytic converter came from.
The service is free. Fargo PD asks if you see any suspicious activity, you're asked to call dispatch at 701-451-7660.
Governor Doug Burgum has signed a bill that covers the cost of health insurance for families of emergency responders who die in the line of duty. The bill was in honor of Officer Cody Holte, who was shot and killed in May of last year. It will cover the cost of health insurance for surviving spouses and dependents of those lost in the line of duty. The bill has a retroactive date of 2010 and will also include correctional facility staff, emergency medical services personnel, and firefighters.
Coming up later on Valley News Live at 6, the latest on where and when people can simply walk in and get a COVID-19 shot.
It was chilly to start our work week in the teens and 20s for most of us. We saw a little bit of sunshine early, but that heat led to a little bit of cumulus activity over us. No significant precipitation, a few flakes in the forecast, and a warm-up. I'll have details next.